All right, so let's dive into something I think you're going to find pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Manifesting your desires.
Hmm.
We've got this really interesting source here called Textopagado,
Okay.
and it basically breaks down this video
Hmm.
that claims there's this method to manifest your desires in just 3 days.
Wow.
Now,
3 days.
I'm not saying we're going to be handing out miracles here,
Right.
but the ideas in this source are amazing.
Yeah.
It kind of combines like Einstein level physics with ancient wisdom.
Interesting.
Definitely something I think is worth exploring.
For sure.
So the source talks about reality being fluid,
Okay.
the power of belief, and how visualization is super important.
Yeah.
Are you ready to kind of unpack all that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's so fascinating to see these connections between modern physics and these ancient traditions that kind of suggests that there might be some scientific basis for these practices that a lot of people see as just purely spiritual.
Right. And that's what's so cool about this.
Yeah.
So the source kind of starts off with this really big idea
Okay.
that reality, it isn't this fixed thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like this fluid canvas that we can shape with our perceptions, our beliefs, our mental focus. Almost like our thoughts directly impact what we experience.
Yeah.
Which I have to admit, I find that to be both really exciting and a little scary.
Yeah, I think that feeling's actually really common. You know, we're so conditioned to seeing the world as this, solid and unchanging thing.
Right.
But if you think about it, like, quantum physics has shown us that even just observing something can change it.
Yeah.
And so if we apply that same concept to ourselves,
Okay.
our thoughts, our focused thoughts, those are like the observations. And they can actually influence the reality around us.
Whoa. Okay. So we're not just talking about like
Right.
positive thinking here.
Yeah.
There's real physics at play, potentially.
Potentially, yeah. And the source uses this great analogy.
Okay.
Our minds are like magnifying glasses. They focus our energy. And so scattered focus leads to scattered results.
Right.
But if you can concentrate that mental energy on one specific desire, well, just like a magnifying glass can focus sunlight to start a fire,
Okay.
intense mental focus can create some really powerful changes.
Okay, that makes the idea of clarity, which the source talks about,
Yeah.
seem even more important.
Absolutely.
It's not enough to just have this vague desire.
Right.
You need that laser focus on exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's right.
I do wonder, though, sometimes I get so caught up in like the how of things, like how is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Does that need for control, does that get in the way?
That's such a great question.
Yeah.
And actually, the source does talk about the need for inspired action
Okay.
a little bit later on, but it's not about like trying to micromanage everything.
Okay.
It's more about setting the intention clearly
Right.
and then being open to all of the unexpected ways that the universe might deliver.
So it's kind of like trusting that there's this GPS guiding us,
Right.
even if we don't know the exact route yet.
Precisely.
Okay.
So now that you've got that clarity, the source says that belief is like the foundation.
Okay.
It's what drives the whole process. If you don't truly believe that you can achieve something,
Right.
then no amount of visualization or action is going to make it happen.
It's like that saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Exactly. And this is where those sneaky limiting beliefs come in.
Oh, yeah.
The source calls those out specifically because we all have them.
We do.
I'm not good enough. I'll never be able to afford that.
Yeah.
Success is only for other people.
Oh, yeah. I think I've got a whole collection of those.
Right. But the good news is that those beliefs can be transformed.
Okay.
The source suggests replacing those negative thoughts with positive affirmations. So instead of, I'm not good enough, it becomes, I am worthy and deserving of success.
Right.
Instead of, success is difficult.
Yeah.
It's abundance flows to me effortlessly.
Okay.
It might feel a little cheesy at first,
Yeah.
but consistently repeating these affirmations can actually rewire your subconscious mind.
So we've got the crystal clear vision of what we want. We've got a solid belief that we can get it.
Right.
What's next in this manifestation recipe?
Well, the source really emphasizes the importance of emotion.
Emotion.
Yeah, emotion is energy in motion.
Okay.
It's the language that our thoughts use to communicate with the universe.
So when we deeply desire something, it's not enough to just to think about it.
Right.
You need to feel it.
You gotta feel it.
Like it's already ours. Okay. Honestly, that sounds a little woo-woo even to me.
It might seem that way, but think back to the physics that we were discussing before.
Okay.
Our emotions, they actually create a measurable energy field
Wow.
around us. And so the source argues that by tapping into that joy, that gratitude, that excitement of having already achieved your goal,
Yeah.
you're amplifying your intention.
Okay.
You're broadcasting it out into the universe.
So I'm sending out this strong, emotionally charged signal about what I want.
Exactly. And the stronger and clearer that signal is,
Yeah.
the more likely it is to be received by the universe.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting to me. Visualization.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with this one.
Yeah.
Is it more than just daydreaming?
Right.
Like, how do you actually do it effectively?
That's a question that so many people have.
Yeah.
And the source is really clear about this.
Okay.
Visualization is an active creation process.
Okay.
It's about building this really detailed blueprint in your mind and engaging all your senses to make it as vivid and real as possible.
So if I'm visualizing my dream home,
Yeah.
it's not just seeing like a picture of it.
Right.
It's imagining like walking through the rooms, feeling the textures, smelling maybe like fresh baked cookies.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually there.
Exactly. The more detail you can bring in,
Yeah.
the more powerful that visualization becomes.
Okay.
You're basically imprinting it onto your subconscious, making it so much more likely to manifest.
Okay. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
Yeah.
But it sounds very internal.
Right.
Is visualization enough on its own?
That's a good question.
Or do we need to like do something as well?
Yeah. Do we have to take some action? And that's where inspired action comes in.
Okay.
The source is really clear about this.
Mm-hmm.
Visualization works best when it's paired with action,
Right.
but not just any action.
Okay.
It's got to be aligned with your vision.
Inspired action, I gotta say, that term has always sounded a little vague to me.
Yeah.
What does that actually like look like?
Okay, so think about it this way.
Yeah.
It's about following those intuitive nudges. Like, being open to those unexpected opportunities.
Yeah.
So let's say you're visualizing your dream job,
Yeah.
but you feel stuck. Inspired action might be noticing a book about a related topic,
Right.
like something you wouldn't normally read,
Yeah.
or feeling drawn to go to this networking event that you almost skipped.
Okay.
It's not, trying to force things,
Right.
but it's being open to the universe's guidance.
So it's like trusting that inner compass,
Exactly.
even if it's pointing in a direction that I didn't really expect.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Okay. All this talk of aligning actions and trusting the universe
Yeah.
makes me think about patience, which the source also talks about a lot.
Right.
And I know I'm like super guilty of wanting things to happen right away,
Yeah, I think we all are.
but I'm starting to realize that like forcing things, that usually just creates more resistance.
Right. You're fighting against the natural flow.
Yeah. Is there anything in the source that helps with that whole patience thing?
The source uses this really beautiful analogy.
About planting seeds.
Okay.
We carefully sow our desires, like those little seeds, and we nurture them with faith and trust,
Yeah.
knowing that they're going to bloom in their own time, trying to like dig them up every day
Right.
and see if they're growing.
Yep. Been there.
That's not going to make them sprout any faster.
Right.
It's probably going to actually hinder their growth.
Yeah. I love that analogy. Reminds me of how often I try to micromanage the universe.
Yeah.
Maybe that ties into what the source was saying about gratitude being like an amplifier for manifestation.
Gratitude is so important because when we're grateful for what we already have
Right.
and what's coming, we align ourselves with abundance.
Okay.
It shifts our focus away from what's missing
Right.
and towards all the good that's already present. And that creates a magnetic field for even more good to come in.
So instead of dwelling on what I don't have, I'm acknowledging the good that's already there. Exactly.
And that opens me up to receiving even more.
Yeah, it's a powerful shift in perspective.
I can see how that alone could make a huge difference.
It really can.
And the source gives this practical tip
Oh, yeah.
for cultivating gratitude. Start and end each day with a gratitude list,
Love that.
including both current blessings and things you want.
Yeah, write down what you're grateful for now
Right.
and what you're grateful for in advance.
So I could write, like, I'm grateful for my comfy bed.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for my supportive friends.
Perfect.
But also, I'm grateful for my thriving business.
Right.
Even if it's, like, just getting started.
Exactly, because you're affirming those desires. You're saying they're already on their way.
Right.
And you're aligning your vibration with their fulfillment.
And speaking of mental shifts,
Yeah.
there's another concept that the Source brings up.
Okay.
I think it's really important, but I also think it's really hard. Releasing attachment.
That is a tricky one. The Source explains that being really attached to a specific outcome
Okay.
that actually creates resistance.
Resistance.
Yeah, it's like we're telling the universe, I don't trust you.
Right.
I have to control everything.
Okay, so instead of micromanaging, it's more about setting the intention.
Yes.
And then surrendering to the process.
Trusting that the universe has a plan that's way bigger and better than anything that we can come up with.
Easier said than done.
Oh.
Especially for somebody like me, I like to be in control.
Right.
But I can see how, like, constantly worrying and trying to force things could actually push my desires further away.
It creates that tension, that resistance.
Yeah, and the Source acknowledges that even with the best intentions, resistance is natural.
It's part of the growth process.
Okay.
We might feel fear, doubt, procrastination, all of those things.
Yeah.
Those are normal.
So I shouldn't, like, beat myself up.
No, not at all.
When those negative thoughts creep in.
No, it's about meeting those thoughts with awareness and compassion. You know, recognize them.
Yeah.
But don't let them take over.
Okay.
Explore where they're coming from. Are they based on past experiences, limiting beliefs?
So instead of saying like, ugh, I'm so scared of failing, I'll never achieve this.
Right.
It's more like, okay, I'm feeling fear right now. Why? What's the root of this? How can I work with it?
Exactly. That's a much more constructive approach.
Yeah.
And the Source suggests things like mindfulness, meditation, journaling, positive affirmations to work through that resistance. And it also talks about how important it is to surround yourself with a supportive community.
Okay.
People who believe in you and your dreams.
That makes sense. It's harder to stay positive when you're surrounded by negative people.
Right.
But having those supportive people around can really boost your belief and your motivation.
Yeah.
Speaking of motivation, the Source reminds us that the path to manifestation, it's not always smooth sailing.
That's true.
There are going to be bumps in the road.
Yeah, there will be challenges along the way.
Right, and this is where persistence comes in.
Persistence is key.
Okay.
The Source really emphasizes that setbacks are not failures.
Okay.
They're opportunities for growth.
Right.
Just like in nature, storms and harsh conditions, they often lead to the strongest trees.
Okay, so instead of giving up when things get tough, I need to like reframe those challenges.
Yeah, see them as learning experiences and keep going.
Keep going.
Persistence is about holding your vision steady, remembering your why, and recommitting to your goals even when you face obstacles.
So I might not see results immediately, but by, consistently nurturing that vision with belief, action, and patience.
Exactly.
I'm creating that fertile ground for my dreams to grow.
It's just like those seeds. They need time and the right conditions to sprout.
Right. And it's the same with our desires.
Yeah.
And, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking about how the Source emphasizes the interconnectedness of everything.
Oh, that's a really important point.
Yeah. So it's not just about manifesting my own dreams, but also considering how they impact the world around me.
Absolutely. Our desires are not isolated. They're part of a larger web.
Yeah.
And the Source suggests that when our intentions benefit not only ourselves, but also others, they actually gain more energy and support from the universe.
That's powerful.
It's about aligning our desires with the greater good.
It's not just about personal gain.
Right.
It's about contributing to something bigger.
Exactly.
It's about creating that ripple effect of positive change.
Beautiful.
And that leads us to a key element for manifestation.
Okay.
Alignment.
Yeah, alignment is crucial.
And the Source defines that as harmony between our thoughts, our beliefs, our emotions, and our actions.
It's about getting everything on the same page.
Okay.
Working together.
So if I want to, manifest abundance, but I'm constantly worrying about money or thinking that I don't deserve it, I'm creating that misalignment that blocks it.
It's like trying to drive with one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
You're not going to get very far.
Right. So alignment is about making sure that my inner world matches my desires.
Exactly. It's about walking your talk.
Walking my talk, I like that.
It's about creating that inner harmony.
Okay.
So that everything works together to support your desires.
This is powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm taking inventory of all the parts of myself.
Yeah.
Making sure that they're all pointing in the same direction.
That's a great way to think about it.
But even if I manage to like get everything aligned, life still throws those curveballs.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Right. And that's why the source talks about the power of perspective.
Yes, perspective is everything.
Yeah.
Our reality is shaped not just by what happens, but by how we choose to see it.
So it's not about controlling what happens to me,
Right.
but about choosing to see it in a way that's empowering.
Exactly.
Turning those curveballs into opportunities for growth.
That's the key.
So instead of saying, like, this is awful, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
It's more like, okay, this is a challenge. What can I learn from this? How can I grow?
You got it.
This is so empowering. It's like we're taking back control.
Yes.
Not by controlling what happens,
Right.
but by choosing how we respond.
Exactly.
And that's like a key takeaway from this source, right?
That's one of the big ones.
It's not about passively wishing for things to be different. It's about actively choosing my thoughts, my beliefs, and my actions
Yes.
to shape my reality.
And when you do that, you're aligning yourself with the universe's natural flow, creating space for your desires to manifest.
In ways we never could have imagined.
In the most amazing ways.
This deep dive has been amazing.
Yeah, it's been really insightful.
My head is like swimming
I know, right?
with all these new possibilities. And I feel like I have a totally new sense of control over my own life.
That's the power of this work.
Yeah. Is there anything else from the source?
You know, what really stood out to me was the emphasis on aligning our desires with the greater good.
Okay.
It's a really powerful reminder that manifestation is not just about what we get.
Right.
It's about using our power to make a positive difference.
Yeah, I completely agree. Recognizing that we're all interconnected.
Yes.
Like our thoughts and our beliefs and our actions. Yeah.
They all have ripple effects way beyond our own lives.
It makes the whole process just feel more meaningful.
It really does.
Yeah.
Just imagine a world where everyone was operating
from that place of interconnectedness, using their unique gifts to create a more harmonious and fulfilling reality for everybody.
That's a beautiful vision.
It is.
Yeah, it really is. And it's almost like we're being handed these keys to the kingdom, you know, but it's up to us to actually use them.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And I think that brings us back to that, you know, bold claim that the source made about manifesting desires in just 3 days.
Right, right.
Now, while I wouldn't necessarily put like a strict timeline on this whole process, I think the underlying message there is really important.
Okay.
It's about intensity, it's about belief, and it's about taking action quickly.
So less about the literal time frame and more about the energy we bring to it.
Exactly. If we approach our desires with that kind of focus and determination, that can really speed things up.
Okay. So it's not about waiting for the right time.
Right.
It's about stepping into our power now. The power to shape our reality is always available to us.
This whole deep dive has been mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
My head is like swimming with all these new possibilities.
I know, it's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's so exciting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have this like totally new sense of agency over my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Is there anything else from the source that really stood out to you?
You know, what really resonated with me was the emphasis on aligning our desires with the greater good.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that this isn't just about, you know, personal gain.
Right.
It's about using our power to create positive change in the world.
I agree. Recognizing that interconnectedness.
Yeah.
Like our thoughts and actions have ripple effects. It just makes everything so much more meaningful.
It really does. Just imagine a world where everybody was operating from that place of interconnectedness.
Yeah.
And using their gifts to manifest a better reality for everyone.
That's a beautiful vision.
It is.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm just struck by like the potential of this whole concept.
It's truly remarkable.
Of manifestation.
It suggests that we're not just, you know, victims of circumstance.
Right.
We can actively participate in creating our own reality.
And that's what I want you to take away from this. You have that power within you.
Yes, you do.
To create a life that reflects your highest potential.
You absolutely do.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So as you move forward,
Yeah.
think about this question.
Okay.
If reality is truly a fluid canvas,
Mm-hmm.
what masterpiece are you ready to create?
That's a beautiful question.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep dreaming big, keep believing,
Mm-hmm.
and keep creating the life of your dreams.